All right, rolling right along. Darren Smith with you. It is San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090, coming up tomorrow night. It's a 7 o'clock game, thankfully. You know, those 8 o'clock games, those of us that like going to bed early, those things are a little bit of a challenge. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. You can listen to it with Uncle Teddy. It will be San Diego State and Fresno State. This amazing run that the Aztecs are on, it continues. They are now ranked 10th or 11th in the country. I think we'll focus on the 10. As we do each and every Tuesday, we say hello to Brian Dutcher. He is the AHC, the HCIW. That's the associate head coach, the head coach in waiting at San Diego State. He joins us on the Mighty 1090. Dutch, good to talk to you.
Great to be back after a couple of wins, Darren.
A couple of wins is right. 79-72 over the weekend against Air Force, 69-66 against Boise State. That one was in your building the other night. This is 13 straight games, Dutch. This is quite the run that you guys are on. Is the lucky tie? I mean, is that what it is? Is that what's paying off?
I do have a lucky scarf I've been wearing on the road, and I'm taking a lot of grief for wearing a scarf. But I got a scarf for Christmas, and that scarf is 3-0 on the road, so I'm going to keep wearing that on the road.
Okay, listen, people people like that sort of stuff. So, I mean, the 13 straight. Listen, I mean, I know I sound like a skipping record here when it comes to your team, but who saw this coming? I mean, how is it possible, given what you guys lost last year, that you at least appear to be, as of this moment, you appear to be a better team than you were a year ago?
That's hard to say, that we're better than we were a year ago, but obviously we're playing a little better. Our record reflects that, and sometimes it's individual performance, it's team performance, it's a little luck, so whatever is going into that equation, we want to keep it going.
You guys went over the weekend 79-72. What was it about playing at Air Force the last couple of years that gave you so much trouble?
It's just they're unlike any other team we play. Their offense is different. The way we have to guard it is different. They're good at what they do. They're an academy team. They're disciplined. They execute. And if you make a mistake, they take advantage of it. And so I don't know if we played any harder this year than we did the last two. I think we always play hard. It's just a missed shot, a miscue, and we get an L. But this year we managed to put a few more points on the board than we normally do against them, and we snuck out with a victory.
Is there any style that you guys haven't faced yet this year? And it seems like you've seen a little bit of everything. You played, not only have you played so many different teams, you played so many different styles.
Yeah, we have played a lot of different styles offensively. I think defensively what we haven't seen is that hard pressure team.
Right, like a Louisville.
Plays everything, presses, ups the tempo on us. And we've seen size, we've seen zone, we've seen every kind of defense other than maybe a hard pressure team.
Obviously, Dutch, with all due respect here, nobody really saw this game over the weekend because you guys were playing at the same time that the Chargers were. So if you're to sum it up, I mean, it sounds like to me, and maybe I misread this, did X get into foul trouble early in this game?
He picked up a couple of too early fouls in the first half. We did come back to him in the first half. We didn't set him the remainder of the half. But I think what we did is we went deep into the bench. We might have even gone 10 deep, if I remember, 9 or 10 for sure. So we used our bench at altitude. Our pressure really affected the game. We pressed all game, and that had a huge effect. And to press all game, you have to play bodies. And so we used the deep bench again. We played De'Aro Williams, who had been out with a bad back, missed 5 games. We played everybody this game. And I thought the results were good because we did.
We're talking to Brian Dutcher, the associate head coach, the head coach in waiting. San Diego State continues to roll 13 straight now. Fresno State coming up tomorrow night. Mountain West Conference game right here on the Mighty 1090. And the reason I ask that is because, you start nitpicking when you guys are on this kind of run. And I had wondered out loud on radio last week, who would your second option be? I mean, who would it be if it's not X? If some team just decided, we're going to take X away from you, or if he had to sit, for some sort of injury-related reason or foul trouble, who would be the next guy that you guys would feel comfortable leaving the game in his hands?
We just played it a lot of different ways at that point, Darren. Even X, when he gets tired at certain games, we're not afraid to let J.J. O'Brien bring it up, let Josh Davis bring it up, Winston Shepard, Akil.
Mm-hmm.
We let other guys bring the ball up. The question is, who would we run a play for at the end if the game was on the line and X wasn't in? And I think a lot of it would have to depend on, matchups and who we were playing and where we thought we had an advantage. But obviously we've had the luxury of having X healthy, X in at the end of every game, and he's made big plays in every game we played this year down the stretch.
13 in a row. I mean, we are approaching, at the very least, one of the longest winning streaks in college basketball this year. you'd have to go through the media guide to find out where this ranks in terms of San Diego State basketball. How do you feel like your team is handling this now? And is everybody embracing this? The fact that you guys are on this kind of run, you didn't lose a single game in December. You're 4-0 in January so far. I'm looking ahead at the schedule. I know you don't want to hear this. I mean, I'm trying to figure out if there's going to be a pitfall here. How's your team handling this? The idea that you guys continue to climb now into the top 10 and you've won 13 straight.
I think the team enjoys being ranked. We're 10 and 11 in the polls. But as coaches, we're trying to keep them grounded in the fact where, well, you're ranked, you're going to take everyone's best shot. I mean, the same as we would be. When we played Kansas, they were ranked. When we played Creighton, they were ranked. Arizona, they were ranked. As much as you say you want the same effort, sometimes you give a little bit more against a ranked opponent. And so I think we'll see great efforts from Fresno State and UNLV this week. And I think this is their proving ground. And as coaches, we have to have our kids ready for that extra effort to say, yeah, here's how they look on tape, but they're going to look a little better when they come into our gym on Wednesday night. There's more at stake for them as a team. And so we'll see if our maturity will allow us to continue to match efforts from other teams.
So you guys, I mean, it's a fascinating reversal of role here in that you guys, I still think that there are a couple people out there who think of San Diego State and they think of you guys as underdogs here. But now, instead of being the hunters, you guys are the hunted. Is that different? Is there anything different about coaching that type of team, one type of team versus the other?
Obviously, coaches try to use whatever circumstance they're in to motivate the team. And so even though we are the highest-ranked team in the Mountain West, we use the fact that we were picked fourth in the standings in the preseason, and the teams like Boise and New Mexico and UNLV, all teams that were picked ahead of us, we'll use that as motivation. And if we're playing a higher ranked team, we're going to say they're better than us. We got to use that as motivation. So as coaches, we're always trying to find ways to motivate the team to get the best out of them that we can.
They're very, very good. It's a very good team here. How self-motivated are they, though, that continue this?
They're a hard-working team. They're not. There's not a lot of pomp and circumstance with this team. It's not the spectacular dunk or the trash talking or the overhyped performance. I think they just come to work every day, and so that's kind of every team's different. Every team's unique, and this team seems to have a lunch bucket, go to work every day mentality, and I think that's why we continue to get better.
Are you guys, I saw an online column today on Sports Illustrated, and it was talking about 8 teams that could potentially win the national championship. Now, you didn't make that list, but you were one of the first couple of notable omissions in this person's column. Should we be talking about you guys in that context in terms of going to a Final Four and potentially having an extended run here that may last a bunch of games into the NCAA tournament?
Darren, so much goes into that. We have to get better as a team. I don't think we're good enough where we are right now, but I think we have room to grow and get better, and that's the key. The teams that get better will be the ones at the end of the year that are playing for the ultimate prize. So we're not where we need to be. We're a good team, but we have room to grow. So that's the beauty of college basketball. When it's all said and done, there's no polls. It's all play. You play for it. And so hopefully we'll put ourselves in a position by continuing to play well in the conference to get ourselves into the tournament and be playing our best basketball if and when we get there.
Does Coach Fisher, I think he has a vote this year in the coaches poll, correct?
Yes.
Do you help him out with that?
No, I have no idea where he even votes us. So, we don't worry about that. We try to use it, as a motivation that if we are ranked, hey, it's great. Where are you going to be 1 week from now? Are you going to stay here? Are you going to climb higher? And so as much as we pay attention to it, we use it to say, can we stay here? Can we get better? Can we climb higher? Are we going to fall back? Are we going to take someone's better effort and fall back? So we use it as motivation, but I don't really know where Coach ever votes us.
Well, that's going to be your job at some point here. Where would you put you guys?
10 and 11 in the polls. I think right where we at is 5 for right now. So, we're excited about where we are. And it's college basketball. You look at teams like Iowa State, who's got an outstanding team,
right? And
they lose back-to-back games because they play good opponents and they play on the road or they catch someone's good effort. And, Duke lost 2 last week. And it just happens. It's college basketball. So, obviously, our intention is to win every game we play. But there are times where a team plays better than they're expected. They make shots that sometimes don't go in, and so you never know it. That's why, it's a cliche, but that's why you play the game, because if the results were to be mailed in, we just say, okay, great, here's where we are. But every game is a new challenge. Our kids know that, and hopefully we're up for those challenges.
Dutch, I'll end on one final note here, and I'll just pick one player out because he had a good game this past weekend at Air Force, and that would be Matt Shrigley. A lot of people think that Shrigley's just the kind of guy who stands on the perimeter and just fires up the three-point shot. Now, maybe he would win a three-point shooting contest amongst all of the players on your team. I don't know that. But is he more than just a spot-up shooter there? Is there something more with Shrigley?
I think that's what people think he's most dangerous at. So as they continue to try to take that away, Matt has to continue to drive the ball to the basket, which he's done, finish with the dunk or the strong finish, which he's done. And so you can't just be one-dimensional in basketball because teams scout so well they will take that away. So is Matt a great shooter? Without question. Has Matt got more to his game than just shooting? Absolutely. So as he continues to grow in his freshman year, we'll continue to get better.
Would he win a three-point shooting contest?
I think he would be one of the favorites to win it. I don't know if he would win it or not. I would not say that. I think I'd cause locker room controversy if I picked one guy over another. I think exit field he would win. I think Matt would think he would win. Dwayne Polee, he think he would be a candidate. So we've got some good shooters on his team.
Oh, and Quinn definitely.
One of the best.
And Quinn would think he would win it.
AQ would, without question, think he would win.
You can see that kid's confidence. I mean, every time he steps on the court.
And that's the beauty of basketball, Darren. He was a DNP against Arizona, did not play. Dwayne Polee did not play against Arizona. And so what we've done is if you continue to work and show you should be on the floor, you're going to be on the floor. And so we've had two guys that didn't play and are only lost a year now work their way up into 6th, 7th, 8th man on the team. So you keep working, and that's how you get better as an individual, as a team.
Dutch, continued success. Fresno State tomorrow night, UNLV over the weekend, and we will talk to you next Tuesday. Thank you, as always, for the time.
Thanks, Darren.